One of my favorite parts about the different Call of Duty Zombies maps is that they usually have different environments and atmospheres that make me go, wow. At least they used to. Historical locations that drip with character like Mob of the Dead and Voyage of Despair always get extra legacy points added in my rankings. The same goes for just sick, creative places like Zombies in Spaceland and Moon. A map having an awesome setting and surrounding theme is something that I think has been lacking in recent Call of Duty games. So today I'm gonna steal some different ideas from multiplayer maps across the entire Call of Duty series and make a case for why they would be cool settings for future Zombies maps. The first has always been a personal favorite of mine and is the DLC map Citadel from Black Ops 3. Here's the official map description. An ancient towering castle, once a seat of power, now sits broken and abandoned. The last trespassers didn't make it out alive. Maybe you'll have a better shot. An ancient castle that's broken and abandoned. Where have I seen that before? No, but seriously, besides the description already sounding very Zombies-like, everything about the map's environment screams this should be a Zombies map. In addition to the giant castle with a serpent wrapped around it, which is just cool, there is a ton of debris from a huge battle that took place in the surrounding area. From skyscraper-esque battering rams to the forgotten suits of armor from fallen warriors who have died in the battle that still have their ghostly essence trapped inside. It's just crazy to me that so much great detail and effort was put into this just to have it be a DLC multiplayer map. I mean, come on, it's a fictional fantasy world with dragon eggs, the Chronorium, and a talking tree, and it's in multiplayer. Alright, I need to calm down. I'm getting a little too heated right now. What I'm trying to say is, a map that has this much detail and aura put into it should not be left to just multiplayer, especially when it's DLC. Alright, that's enough complaining. Just give us a map like this instead of the 50th secret facility in a row. Next up, heading over to Black Ops 2, I have Magma. Before anybody says anything, yes, this map has lava or magma or whatever, and it has a public transportation system, but it is not transit, so let's all take a deep breath and relax. The map takes place in a city in Japan where, as you can see, a volcano has erupted, leaving a giant trail of devastation everywhere you go. The contrast between the modern landscape and the older feudal Japanese architecture is something that would be really interesting to explore in a new Zombies map. Going back to the actual setting itself, it would be nice to fight zombies in a city that's on fire and could burn down at any moment. Some dynamic events could even shake up some of the structures and locations, making the map feel alive and sometimes a threat and not just static like transit does. To sum it up, being in an actual urban environment, having a backdrop with something so ominous like a volcano would be a nice change of pace. If I had a quarter for every map on this list that had a volcano, I would have 2 quarters, which isn't a lot, it's just weird that it's happened twice. We're moving on to the original Modern Warfare 3 and the face-off map, Erosion. Now this is one of my favorite multiplayer maps of all time, so this was an easy choice. A bunch of Roman Empire ruins next to Mount Vesuvius. Come on, that's the most chaos story sounding map you've ever heard in your entire life. There's crumbling aqueducts and statues, chipped artwork, and overall destroyed buildings that have been eroding for thousands of years. It's kind of hard to describe, but it just has that it factor that so many maps from Black Ops 4 have. I mean, just look out of bounds over here. There's an amphitheater that could be straight out of Ancient Evil, and this map came out 7 years before that did. Erosion could have easily slipped into the DLC cycle for Black Ops 4, and even thinking about it now, it looks slightly similar to the Tomb, but I'll take Erosion any day. If you couldn't tell by now, I'm trying to group these maps together as much as possible, so for the next 2, you're gonna see a slightly similar theme. We're going back a year to Black Ops 1 with the multiplayer map Hazard. Hazard is a cliffside golf course set in Cuba, and for all my fellow unks out there, you probably remember it best as Cliffside from World at War. Now this map has sauce and isn't just any random golf course. It's built into the cliffside of an old abandoned, probably Spanish fort. It's got cannons, watchtowers, and a neat little lighthouse. Like Zombies maps have done so often, and like I mentioned earlier, having the ruins of an older structure below a more modern setting is a tried and true formula that will keep happening in the future. And I mean, we've already had a golf club before in Infinite Warfare, so using it again on a golf course wouldn't be out of the ordinary. Plus you could have some golf cart, sand bunker, and water hazard traps, and boom, you already got half of an interesting map right there. This one has always been in the back of my mind, going all the way back to 2011 when it came out. The location was so different and unique compared to most of the other maps, and I think even having it as a custom Zombies map would be awesome. Staying with the golf theme, we're shifting over to Infinite Warfare's DLC map, 4. Unlike the more serious, grounded location that Hazard is, 4 is all about miniature golf, which if you've ever played miniature golf, you know that the course can get a little wacky. 4 has 3 distinct themes. One is a magical forest, another is a desert area with a bunch of popsicles, and finally the other is another traditional medieval castle. Now I chose this map specifically because I think it would work really well with an Infinite Warfare Zombies type vibe, where it doesn't take itself too seriously, and a lot of the map's layout and structures could take inspiration from all the 3 different themes. There's endless possibilities for map-specific weapons, enemies, and traps when you can walk to a castle and then finally to a candy desert land, all within a few minutes of each other. The main area of emphasis on a map like this would be variety. Like I just mentioned, there are so many times when you can get bored of enemies or a specific weapon on a map. So what if, within one big map, there were a bunch of little themes contained within, kinda similar to 9? I think that's a really unique idea, and is why I was going to put the map Gauntlet from Black Ops 3 on this list, but I think 4 just did the concept a little bit better. We're gonna stick with Infinite Warfare, which are words that have never been said before together. I chose the map Mayday, which takes place on a destroyed spaceship next to a black hole, which, come on, by itself sounds pretty cool. The map itself is kind of split up, with 95% of it being destroyed and damaged from the black hole or a battle before, but there's also a smaller indoor section that's relatively untouched, and the contrast between the two could work as a nice starting room, similar to how Verruct is, where the players would be split up between the two. Don't get me wrong, I love Infinite Warfare Zombies and how they decided to go out on a limb and not just copy the style and concepts from the campaign and multiplayer, but even I could admit there was a lot of missed potential on cool maps like Mayday that they could have explored further with zombies. I mean, they kind of balanced the two in Beast from Beyond, but I feel like a more serious map with a setting like Mayday could have gone a long way and would have fit in more and vibed better with the other 2/3 of the game instead of what we got. This next entry probably fits best with the actual zombies mode from this game itself and is going to be Operation Arcane from the War Game mode from Call of Duty World War II. Right away, you have anti-gravity technology, UFOs, and different Tesla gun wonder weapons. Come on, you're already pretty much a zombies map. The layout is ginormous and has multiple rooms that could absolutely fit different perks, pack-a-punch, and a mystery box. And that's not even including the outside spawn area, which could once again be a good starting room. World War II zombies in general nailed the secret German facility, but I think might have peaked a little too early with the Final Reich. A big complaint I have about the other DLC maps is that they feel a little too samey to me. They all kind of blend together and look about the same to me with that dark and gritty type feel, where I think a daytime map like Operation Arcane would be a good contrast to those gloomy and grimy other maps. It's just a personal preference of mine, but having a map go back to the basic roots of focusing around German wonder weapons sounds kinda nice to me. Staying with Sledgehammer DLC maps, we have Parliament from Advanced Warfare. Now, to all my British friends out there, this is gonna sound wild out of context, but a destroyed London looks cool and would be an awesome setting for a zombies map. And don't worry, there are some maps with American monuments that are destroyed that will come up in a little bit. Now, Parliament takes place along the River Thames on a destroyed Atlas ship. In the background, you can see Big Ben and the Palace of Westminster on fire. This, in addition to the rain coming down and the anti-air fire that you can see in the distance, would be a unique, hectic location for a zombies map. I'm honestly kind of surprised we've never had a map set in London before. It's one of the most easily recognizable and largest cities on Earth, so it seems like it would be a slam dunk to have a map set here. At any rate, like I keep saying, I like the wartime vibes going on here. Bridges are destroyed, buses are on fire. It just seems like a perfect, hectic environment to have a bunch of zombies invade during. We need more crazy set pieces in the background, kinda like Origins, I think. For too long, the maps that we've been playing have felt so isolated. There's a giant world out there, and I want to see how they would react and how damaged it could get when you have a bunch of zombies tearing everything up. And what better location could showcase that than downtown London? For the final two, this might get a little controversial. I don't want a bunch of black helicopters and vans pulling up to my house, but at any rate, we have Site 244 from Advanced Warfare. Site 244 takes place next to Mount Rushmore in South Dakota, so you might be thinking, why might a zombies map next to a bunch of stone heads be a fun time? And I answer that by saying, because there's also a giant alien spaceship that's crashed below it. Now I understand this is zombies, not aliens or extinction, but look at it. This looks awesome. Imagine fighting through a bunch of zombies in a giant crashed alien spaceship with Mount Rushmore in the background. That sentence by itself makes me sound like I'm high or is going to put me on a list, but I'm gonna push forward because the atmosphere and setting for this map is so wild and so goofy, even for a Call of Duty game. It's so crazy and has so much potential that, again, it sucks that it's on multiplayer and not in zombies or any other mode, because I can guarantee there's probably like 7 other people, including myself, that even remember this map exists existing at all, which is a shame. So I'll say once again, hopefully it'll be a custom zombies map eventually. Since I've probably already caught some backlash for wanting a zombies map set in a United States landmark, let's do it again. This time with the map Beheaded from Vanguard. Beheaded is set in the middle of a destroyed Times Square, with, as the map's name would suggest, having the Statue of Liberty's head lying in the middle of the street. That by itself is an insane visual that would be so great for a zombies map, but I also have to mention how eerily similar the background looks to Shadows of Evil. I understand, yeah, they're big cities, so they're gonna be kind of alike, but looking at both of them back to back, they are way more than just eerily similar. They have the same-ish time period, so they have similar architecture and vehicles, they're set at about the same time of day, and both underground areas obviously look pretty much the same. The more I look at it, the more it looks like bizarro Shadows of Evil, and it kind of freaks me out. So 100% definitely make this a zombies map, and don't leave it in a game like Vanguard to rot away forever. And that'll just about bring us to the end. You'll probably notice by now that there's two pretty big omissions that I've left off this list, which are Der Schatten and Remnant from Black Ops 4. And I decided not to include those specifically in this video because I feel like it would be too easy and almost too much like a layup to include them. Like, obviously the map below Der Eisendrache and the Zombies Museum would be great for normal zombies. I mean, I said just as much in the last video. But while I was looking through the different multiplayer maps, I wanted to find some that maybe people had forgotten, or maybe some more unique settings and atmospheres, not just ones that are immediately tied to zombies. So now we're finally at the real end. Do you agree with some of my picks? What are some maps that you think would be great for zombies? Let me know, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.